What's going on, true believers? And we are back. This week's edition of Top 5 Thursday. We're going to represent the Heisman winners. My top 5 Heisman winners. And yes, I got honorable mentions. I know somebody like, you might as well do a top 10. No. Respect. But see, this is the thing. It's a very opinionated list for me because most of the people that's on my top 5 I've seen personally win the Heisman. And we're just talking about their college, just college work, not their pros, just college work and what made them deserve these Heisman trophies and the importance of it because this trophy has been around since 1935 to go to the best collegiate football player of that year. And it's gonna be some names on here. Some y'all might not like, y'all might disagree because college football is more passionate than the pros to me. But let's just stop nearly battling and let's just get to the damn thing, shall we? Hit that intro. Go! What's going on? It's your boy Enforcer Fat Day, first thing. But anyway, so we're talking about Heisman winners. And before we even get to my top 5, we must always have respect for those honorable mentions. And here we go. How I'm gonna start with the honorable mention. I'm gonna start off with this guy. This guy named, his actual name. I'm a Michigan guy, so we gotta start off with Desmond Howard. Desmond Howard got his Heisman in 1991. Dude was doing the all. He's one of the top receivers for that Heisman class. Also, top kick return, top punt returner. He did it all in '91. And if you remember the infamous, no pun intended, there, guys, Ohio State game where he returned a key punt down the sidelines, and when he got to the end zone, he did the Heisman pose and pretty much locked it in from that game. It was a big game. It got into the Rose Bowl. Uh, in fact, it was actually for the national title, but they lost to Washington. But still, it was a great moment for Desmond Howard in 1991. Next honorable mention is Johnny Manziel. Now, again, like I said, I'm not talking about his pro. No, I am not. I am talking about his college. And dude, there was nobody more exciting around this time. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think Johnny was a sophomore when he won, or a freshman. He was either one. Either one. It's still incredible. Um, what he was mostly known for this Heisman performance against Alabama in Alabama, Roll Tide country, and just did one hell of a performance there, which pretty much locked it in. All he had to do was not have a bad game for the rest of the season, which he didn't. And Johnny got the Heisman. Next year, he kind of matched the performance, but it was not the same. It was still Giant football, but it was not the same performance. But he almost had it. He was a runner-up, or one of the finalists anyway. Next, you probably can't see it because kind of distorted. But that is Archie Griffin. And again, the reason I put him on here, I never saw him play. Period, college or pro. But the fact that I don't have him on his list, that he's the only one that ever won 2 Heisman trophies since this trophy has been in existence since 1935 is I gotta show some respect there. I got to. So I got to put it on honorable mention, right? Of course, yes, he played for the Buckeyes. Yes, he got 2. I don't even know how the hell he did that because I know when he won the first one, they had to put 8 in the box, and he still got the second Heisman back to back. So shout out to him. Respect to Archie Griffin. And next, Timmy, Tim Tebow. I could have put him on my top five but he didn't win the Heisman the year that I fell in love with Tim Tebow. Uh, so he won the Heisman. I think that was his sophomore year, and dude was in college. He was an outstanding quarterback. I don't know why people think they got to change their format. If you change the game plan around, he probably would have been in the NFL still. But I don't know. I don't know. The mechanics, I guess they had a problem with him, but he still showed he's a winner. If everybody remember, but we ain't gonna talk about that. We ain't gonna talk about that. Tim Tebow holds, or I think he still holds the touchdown record for the SEC. The dude's a fucking winner. He's a two-time SEC champion. He is a national champion winner. And I'm sorry, even though it was not the year that he won the Heisman, I never go forget when they lost. I think they lost to somebody, and he said he promised the nation that you ain't gonna see no one play harder, more dedicated in the country than Tim Tebow. He was right because they won the national championship there. So that is all I got for you. Those are my honorable mentions. I do got one more. I just don't have a picture of him, and that is Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson, War Eagle. Uh, I am so sorry I don't got a picture of Bo Jackson. I know that's disrespectful, but hey, hey, I seen Bo play in the pros. I don't remember seeing him. I was in Jersey, so we rarely got a lot of SEC games unless they was playing the bowls. Or it was a holiday. We might would have got the Iron Bowl if CBS was doing what they do now. They was not playing the SEC back when Bo was playing. In fact, uh, CBS at my area, my region, was playing more Big East games. So that's why I really didn't get to know Bo until he got to the pros. But I did watch the highlights. And I gotta say Bo because Bo is the man that told in the modern day that you could make it in two sports. So for those that are a Deion Sanders, a Brian Jordan, uh, those guys that are playing baseball and football at the same time, you think Bo Jackson. So that's my other mention. So let's get to this damn list. Let's get to this list. It's not in no order. It's not in no special order. You know how I do this. It's just five people, and we're going to do it like that. And my first person is the electrifying, and he just got his trophy back. I'm talking about Reggie Bush. Reggie Bush was fucking outstanding. Reggie Bush in college, don't get me wrong. Again, I know we're not going to talk about the pros, but Reggie Bush was a beast in college, okay? And the fact that he started as a backup and still was electrifying as a backup, and when he got to share the backfield, he was still the man to look at. Not just fucking running the ball. He was catching the ball out the backfield. He juked a whole team. His Heisman highlight to me was that Fresno State game. He ran in top speed, top speed, and stopped on a dime and made at least 3 or 4 fucking Bulldogs slide and then went the other way. The dude was fucking outstanding. Not to mention, don't forget the original tuck and push came from Reggie. Reggie pushed the shit out of Matt Liner in the Notre Dame game for the win, a rivalry game. Chef's kiss. Reggie Bush will go on to win the Heisman, but if you remember what happened at the end of this year, which is like probably one of the best damn college football games, bar none, and especially in the Rose Bowl national title game, USC versus Texas. The two finalists, I should say the 4 finalists, was in that game. No, I would say 3. It was 3. The 3 finalists was in that game. Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush, and Vince Young. And you all know what happened there. One of the greatest games, college football bowl games ever. But this man right here was a human highlight film with cleats and representing the 619 San Diego. So shout out to Reggie Bush and congratulations, bro, for getting your trophy back that you should never got taken in the first place. Okay. I understand y'all want to punish the school, but you shouldn't have took his trophy. That dude worked his ass off for it, and I'm glad he got it back. So next my number two, or it's kind of scary that I gave him that I come with that spot right there. Even like I said, it's not in no order. I don't care which order it is, but the fact that he is right now the second person I'm about to call, and he was wearing number two, and he played for Michigan. I'm only talking about Charles Wilson. Charles Wilson. Now, if I said Desmond Howard did everything, he Charles Woodson went beyond everything. If you he one thing, he is the first player to win Heisman in a defensive position. That's one. Two, the dude played corner, receiver, punt returner, and kick return. And he also had his moment, just like Des Desmond Howard did against Ohio State. So did Charles Woodson. He returned a punt against Ohio State. He wanted to do the Heisman pose, but his teammates, kind of tackled him already, so he couldn't do it. But you saw that rose out from that game. Yes, and also the '97 Wolverines did win the national championship, or should I say, had a share national championship. It was because of that they made the BCS. And they still fucked it up. So hopefully this playoff thing, which is now got bigger, will work. But Charles Wilson is not just a Michigan legend; he is a legend in college football, and I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. I think, but Charles Wilson winning the Heisman as a defensive back is the first time and only time that a defensive player won the Heisman. Uh, his Heisman highlight, I just said, he um, returned a punt, and I think he caught an interception that game too. But against it started out as a fight between him and Boston. Y'all remember Boston? Boston was the guy that was stuck on steroids when he came to the NFL. But yeah, he shut down Boston, and he caught an interception. They was barking. Then he did the punt return for the touchdown. Charles Wilson at my number two spot. Number three, let me just say this. If y'all liked him when he was a pro, you should see his fucking highlights in college. I'm talking about the one and only in my number three right now. Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders for Oklahoma State. Oh, let me go back for a minute. Let me put this back. Let me just tell you the years. I forgot to do that. Reggie Bush won his Heisman Trophy in '05. Charles Wilson won his in '97. And now we're gonna go with Barry Sanders, who won his in '88. Barry Sanders broke all types of records once Thurman Thomas was out the picture. When he came into college, when Barry came to college, he was back up to Thurman Thomas. And you know how good Thurman Thomas is. And the fact that Boomer Sooner's coach, Barry Switzer, said, do not hurt Thurman Thomas because you don't want to see that boy behind him. That is, I'm not bullshitting you. Barry Switzer said that. Don't hurt Thurman Thomas because you don't want to see his backup. Well, the next year they saw his backup. And his backup was running touchdowns, long touchdowns. He was averaging 250 yards a game. Let me repeat that. Barry Sanders, this man right here, was rushing for 250 yards damn near a game. If you look at this picture right now, that's they was over in Tokyo. I think it was a bowl game, if I'm not mistaken. Barry Sanders had the all-time rushing yards in a season, which is, I think it still stands, 2,600 yards. Let's see, we talking about, this was at the time, the Big Eight. They only had 9 games. They didn't have no title game yet. They only had 9 games, and you count the bowl games, so 10. This dude averaged 250 yards a game. I can't not stress this enough. I don't even know what was his Heisman moment. I don't know. I don't know, was it against Oklahoma? I don't know, was it against Nebraska? I don't know, was it against Texas A&M? I don't know. I can say that whole damn season was a fucking Heisman moment. Barry was a bad motherfucker. If y'all think he's a bad motherfucker in the NFL, college, just type it in. Type Barry Sanders, Oklahoma State. You will enjoy it. You enjoy Barry Sanders NFL highlights. You will enjoy those highlights. And the crazy thing, his first touchdown was a kick return. So that's all I'm gonna say about Barry. Uh, who I got next? This is a big what if for me. Uh, I got the pleasure of seeing this dude on the year he won the Heisman, Giant Stadium, Florida State against Kansas. I'm talking about Charlie Ward. This is the big what if for me because he never took the field in the NFL. Charlie Ward is a bad motherfucker. Charlie Ward was a bad motherfucker. I think, and I'm gonna tell you I know his Heisman moment. His Heisman moment happened against Florida last game of the season. It could he almost lost it against Notre Dame that year. Notre Dame was ranked number 2. Florida State was ranked number 1. It was a great game. Never gonna forget it. Notre Dame came out with the win, but they fucked up the next week against Boston College. But Florida State beat Florida, and man, Charlie went the fuck off. Charlie went the fuck off. Not to mention the national title game, which was a rare to have 1 and 2 at that time in the same bowl game. Florida State against Nebraska, and Nebraska was back then was not to be fucked with. Defense was crazy. The offense with that option was crazy, but Florida State pulled it out thanks to Mr. Charlie Ward. And let me just tell you why I say this is the big what if. Because Charlie Ward is a Heisman Trophy winner, right? But this motherfucker went to the NBA. Yeah, Charlie Ward was a Heisman Trophy winner in football, and he played basketball for Florida State. So you know that argument they have right now about if somebody from the NBA can go to the NFL or somebody that they could a guy from the NFL can't go to the NBA. Charlie Ward is that guy that could go in the NBA, and we've seen that he was a great basketball player for the New York Knicks, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. And next, and Charlie did win his Heisman in 1993. Next, this is actually this is actually close to right now. My last and not least, Joe Cool, Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow. What I want y'all to do when I say this, and I know somebody like, how the fuck? Remember how we got introduced to Joe Burrow? Yes, he was with Ohio State, but no. Remember the year before this Heisman season, he got knocked the fuck out in a bowl game against Auburn. And next season, this man went the fuck off. He went off against Tennessee. I remember that game. He went off against Alabama. That's his Heisman moment, by the way. He went into Alabama, who was ranked number 1, and destroyed them. I mean, they embarrassed. See, earlier I said about Johnny Manziel, his performance, but him and his team did not embarrass Alabama in Alabama. Then you had the SEC title game. They smoked Georgia. The playoff game, I forgot who they faced. I think it was Oklahoma, and embarrassed them. But then you go and face the actual returning national championship, Clemson, and you embarrass them. And yes, he had some great receivers, but to get those balls to those receivers, how he did it was unbelievable that season. 2019 was crazy for Joe Burrow and LSU. They went undefeated, and again, Joe Burrow came out of nowhere. like I said, when we got introduced to Joe Burrow in a football game, was not Ohio State. He suited up for Ohio State. But when he got into a game, it was LSU in a bowl game that they already lost. But he got smacked. And I guess they woke him up because he was unstoppable the next season. Joe Burrow Heisman year was a wake up call, and which actually got him drafted because so I think this was the only season he played, and he got drafted. So those are my top 5 Heisman winners. I know it's gonna be people that don't agree with it or they got different, which is okay. Put in the comments who is your top 5 Heisman winners. I might got people older than me that seen better. And I never saw O.J. Simpson. I never saw Jim Puckett. I never saw Roger Staubach. Give me some other names. I don't know, but I never saw them. But I've seen these guys. The only reason I put Archie up there as an honorable mention because it's the only guy that won 2 of them. Nobody else has done it. So that is all I'm gonna get to you. I am your boy Enforcer, and again, this was Heisman winners. I must bid you adieu. Bye bye.